And thanks for walking through the previous slide. And as you saw that AI systems are restructuring how the BI space was getting looked upon. Now we are double clicking into the core agentic AI solutions that construct or the entire ecosystem that we see. What you see here in the slide is a persona-centric agentic ecosystem. Now, if I want to make any layman understand that how this system works, I would ideally take help of these building blocks to explain the systems. Again, they are much deeper systems, but we'll talk a bit high level on this. Now, for any individual or any user to interact with the agentic system, there will be a need of or an entry point, which is your application layer, which you see on the left side, which is nothing but your user interface. It can be a custom built UI on top of your existing chat systems, or it can be certain enterprise toolkits where you integrate your agentic workflows. A primary component of application layer is authentication and role-based access control, because you will not want everybody to see everything in your BI systems, right? You want to put guardrails, you want to put certain authentication mechanisms in the application layer itself. Now, if I just move on and see the middle block, which is your agentic core, it is the heart of this entire ecosystem. The agentic core consists of specialized agents which are designed to solve certain downstream tasks, all collaborating among each other through a master agent orchestration layer. Now, all of these again has to be built in a way that it provides specific insights for specific individuals, and you cannot design multiple systems. So that's where your persona profiler systems comes into play. The persona profiler is responsible for making the response tailored to an individual persona. It can be a CFO of a company, it can be a junior analyst, it can be a marketing head. So that's how these agentic systems use persona profiling to make your insights or responses tailored to individuals. AI judge or validation block that you see here again is a core component, because the outcomes that you see from any agentic systems or AI systems, you want them to be properly validated and they should make sense based on what the user is looking for. All of this together make sure that the responses are not only powerful but also trustworthy. Now, when you design such complex agentic systems, a lot of LLMs, API calls, everything involved in the backend, there's a lot of operational rigor that happens, and that is where agent ops comes into play. Think of this MLOps 2.0 or MLOps for agentic space, right? What it provides as a feature is there are monitoring and observability setups being designed for agentic systems. There are scalability and optimization areas that are needed for systems because you deal with huge parametric large language models, multiple LLMs, vector stores, etc. Right? So there is need of optimization to these systems. On top of it, there is always the need of governance and compliance, which is setting up proper guardrails at each point of your system so that you make sure everything that is generated through these probabilistic models or the LLMs are governed well. Then other components of agent ops should be the prompt flow management or workflow management and the continuous feedback loops that are set up to make sure your system learns over time and becomes more mature. Now, with all of these top three blocks that you see is as good as or any AI system to that fact is as good as the data on which they rely on. And that's where the data layer comes into the play. And the bottom block that you see, where we have categorized them into three blocks. Now, when we're considering or looking into the BI space, the BI knowledge layer plays a very vital role, which is a core data that is being consumed by the system to make all these intelligent recommendation, insights, chat, whatever you want to build. Then comes your enterprise data sources, which consist of data warehouse, external APIs, operational DBs, which are your CRMs, ERP systems, etc. And then comes knowledge hub, which is a newly evolved term in agentic world, which consists of vector stores, long-term memory, short-term memory, feedbacks, logs, which make sure that all these agentic setups work in tandem and are not going haywire and going rogue. So all of these make sure there's a proper agentic ecosystem set up and it is contextualized to a persona. But all of these cannot go without the responsible AI coming into play. Responsible AI is not an optional component in the agentic world. It is a foundation, it is a must-have component. And there are multiple areas or multiple topics in responsible AI which has to incorporate your agentic systems, be it accountability and compliance. When I talk about compliance, it is the GDPRs, EU AI Act, and multiple ISO standards that every organization or enterprise has to adapt to. Human oversight and embedded guardrails. Now, as you're talking about AI systems, not everything can be to an automated to a 100% mark, right? There is still a room that there is certain human oversight needed on these systems, because you are dealing with BI space or business intelligence where every number, every insight matters, and it will create an impact on a business decisions. So all of these have to be well governed through human oversight and guardrails, but obviously with a lot of optimization coming with agentic systems. Data governance, again, a foundational principle for AI, ML, and data science world, right? Where you need to understand all the data guardrails that you need to put, what are the data lineages that you have to see while you construct all of the systems. Security and risk controls, again, these are self-explanatory, but in very simple terms, when you design such complex systems, there are multiple APIs from where you receive data, get data, connect to multiple systems. There has to be a lot of security protocols has to be followed and laid out in all of your systems. And then finally, your lifecycle management, fairness, transparency, and reliability principles. So all of these together make your agentic AI ecosystem tailored for BI space. Now, what we saw is not only POVs, but we have all of this built as Tiger platforms. I'll hand over to my colleague, and he will walk us through certain.
Can you switch on to the video, please?
Previous video.
The previous video.
Can you go to previous video?
Yeah. So it's not just we just want to give a point of view on what the new the augmented AI system should look like. What you've done is that we already gone a step ahead and built those systems, right? So we can give a quick glimpse of what we have built. There's another video. Yeah. All right. So this is what we have built. I spoke about a centralized BI platform, right? So it's kind of a marketplace that we have. So that's what you built when you have one BI tool or multiple BI tools. So you can have a unified BI catalog like this, and then you can go and you can search your reports, your model, your metadata, everything, and then you can find your reports, from organization model, your own reports and your own repositories, right? So from this, you can actually go and see all your reports because these are directly embedded into your system. So what it means is that you don't have to hop across multiple BI systems, to go and gather insights. Now, this is your reporting layer. So you have your reports, on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is what you have built a conversation layer. So where you can go and, query your data, right? And it can give all your insights. I mean, this is something which is similar to, can you pause for a moment? So this is similar to what you have in Copilot, but it extends beyond your single semantic model, and it works across multiple models and across multiple data agents as well, right? So on top of it, we have built a KPI store. For example, any user who is coming in and want to look into any particular KPI or metrics, they need to go into complete metric complete report or metadata to find it, right? So now this metric store will help you to go and identify that metric, and then on top of the metric, you can go bookmark it, and once you ask an image, you can download this data, and also you can share it with your your colleagues in PS, and we have also built a collaboration mechanism wherein Microsoft Teams or any collaboration platform can be integrated as a part of this, and it can be shared. On top of it, we also have added a strong governance mechanism, which is the IT part of it is also added to it, which means it can be centrally governed and administered, and you can do a lot of capacity metrics monitoring, and also simple governance features like adding users, removing users, and then setting all the access control mechanism. All this can be done as a part of this. And this platform, what you have built, is kind of a production ready platform, and it can be, it's again being adopted by some of the users at a POC level, and soon it will be implemented across various customers that you're working with. And the augmented layer, the advanced analytics parts that we spoke about, so that also we have integrated, and quickly Venkatesh will talk about how we have done that as well in this.
Awesome. Now that we saw that how AI is reshaping these platforms, right? Now it's about see how smart agentic insights look like. So what you see here is an agentic insight being derived through the backend systems from the data that is the BI data or enterprise data. Can you pause the video for a minute? Thank you. So what you see here is the tool offers all these curated insights pre-populated for a user to consume. Now it has combination of textual insights, graphical insights, and the backend data from which this is curated. Now, can you play the video? Now, if you want to understand more details beyond the patterns that has been derived by the system, you can click on view details, and you will see more deeper analysis at different cuts and granularities. Now it will be accompanied with charts, visual insights, textual insights, and everything. Let's say you want to understand why that manufacturer is going negative for certain region. You click on that, get all the details along with your charts, plots, etc. You want to take an action? You can from here. Now, apart from this, if you want to still use the chat AI feature that the platform offers, where you want to do deeper analysis beyond what the AI has curated for you, you can go ask a question, get it. Now, with a single click of a button, you can download this as a report, maybe a PPT or a PDF, and you can use it in your day-to-day conversations. Now, what we saw here was curated dashboards, centralized reports, agentic explorations, automatic insights. This is BAI reimagined with agentic AI. That's all for us.
Yeah.
Seven,
all right. So as an end note, now what I'd like to say is that BI is here to stay. So all our customers are heavily invested on BI. So most of 70% of BI would be retained, and how the rest 20% and 30%, what we spoke about, the aspirational BI, how we can augment the current BI platform with agentic AI and Gen AI features. So that's what we are trying to achieve. That's the bridge we are trying to fulfill, right? So now whatever demos that we have shown here, so these are all working demos, this available, so you can come and visit in our booth. So we are happy to go over and explain this and how we can implement in your company or with your customer, right? So with this note, I'd like to close the sessions, and I would like to have any questions from the audience.
Thank you, Saravanan and Venkatesh. Audience, do we have any questions for them? Due to shortage of time, we'll be able to take just one or two questions, not more than that. Could we please give the gentleman there a mic, the one in the blue shirt first, please? Request you to make it a little quick because we're short on time.
Hi, so my name is Ayush from DataWeights. I just wanted to ask the agentic AI solution that you were showing. So the customers, we have been implementing the similar solutions. The main question is they are not able to validate the outcomes. They are able to generate the insights, but what we can do to validate the outcome at the same time.
Yeah, so if you see, the solution that you're building, the fundamental block is we want to build, this AI framework on top of the semantic model, and of course on the data layer as well. When you build on top of the semantic model, what it gives you is accuracy, right? So because these semantic models are curated, and then it is vetted with business, and then you create your metrics. So whenever you ask any questions, even 1,000,000 times, it will give you the answer, whatever that you built in your semantic model. So apart from that, if you want to move away from a semantic model to a data layer, so that is where we have built a feedback mechanism, right? So whenever you ask any questions, so there's a feedback mechanism which is built, and that will be, validated against your semantic model and the data that's available. So once that is done, so your data accuracy increases many folds. So as I told you, primarily we are trying to leverage 70% of BA, which means the data that you're working against itself is accurate data, accurate metrics, and the data layer that you're working on top of it. That's why we have a continuous feedback mechanism. We have proper context that has been built on top of it, and we do proper metadata enrichment as well. So that will help you to have a system which is more accurate and which is reliable from the business perspective.
Thank you, Saravanan. Ayush, hope that's answered. We'll have to push this question. Sir, really quick.
Hello, yeah, thanks for a wonderful session, right? I have a quick question. So you talk about this long-term memory, right? So how do you make sure that we are not passing all prompt, right? Because due to that, obviously, scalability will come into picture. So how do you handle that strategy?
So long term itself is a very broad concept, right? It is not only about pushing all of your prompts, but how intelligently you manage these prompts. So long term not only just directly feeds all of your transactional information from your application to the backend, but it does certain pre-processing intermediately to make sure that only right amount of information are stored in long-term memory, so that these can be very efficiently managed in long term, right? So it is not a very straightforward mechanism. If you want to help you understand more about it, we can meet at the booth. Because of time shortage, I may not elaborate, but there is a complex mechanism rather than directly putting all of your transactional data to the long-term memory.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Saravanan and Venkatesh. Can we please give them a huge round of applause?
Thank you.
Our speakers will be here. So